the thing is, I do believe there was talk about these things. I believe if we study history, the Confederates were able to shoot pterodactyls, back in the Civil War, and they spread these things out. Anybody can look it up online.
Google it
They
yourself.
spread these things out, and this is a historical fact. So, they spread this thing out, and it's got a huge winglet. It was a pterodactyl they shot. So, of course, these things have been around. Now, they went extinct, obviously, slowly, but surely. And so...
What I'm saying is Jesus wrote a dinosaur to work. That's history. It's in the Bible. How to Train Your Dragon.
Historical facts.
And if you don't believe it, do your own research. Pull up Google. You'll find the picture, I promise.
Oh my god.
Thank you, John Gleason, Godless engineer, for gifting me this beautiful moment. Y'all remember when they tried to cancel Steven Spielberg for posing with an animatronic triceratops animal rights activist?
Back it up.
Hit it from the back.
Cloaca. Historical facts.
Eat my ass, BP. You're down here bailing on the rest of us because you don't want to process your grief and shame like a normal person by drinking and mistreating strangers.
No, Rick. It is you who must nibble my cloaca, or bird asshole.
Everyone knows what a cloaca is.
back in the Civil War, and they spread these things out. Anybody can look it up online. They spread these things out, and this is a historical fact. So, they spread this thing out, and this has got a huge winglet. It was a pterodactyl they shot. So, of course, these things have been around. Now, they went extinct, obviously, slowly, but surely. And so...
Paul Bunyan was sharing some Funyuns with his pet velociraptor.
Whoa.
Oh, you thought it was an ox? Roll back the clock. Let me knock the socks off. Historical facts.
I didn't cut out. You heard me. You a pervert or something? Okay.
What's up, heathens? How y'all doing? I wasn't muted. OBS was just a little fucked up. Let me see. I've got a all right, let's see. It's active, waiting for chat. Hold on, maybe we try this again. Can I, let's see. There we go. Yeah, so Philly 3000 said GE is the best atheist show on YouTube. I'm not sure about that, but whatever. What's up, heathens? How y'all doing? I'm the Godless Engineer, and I critically analyze apologist claims to give you the best arguments and information so that you can stand up and use your voice. Fucking forgot my own tagline. Shit. Anyways.
Dude, Timothy, what the fuck ever? Shut the fuck up.
Daniel M says, which I think I could probably highlight here with my fancy thing right here. Daniel M says, David says good night. He got his hard cast Tuesday. If you guys didn't know, David actually fell down while he was playing and broke his arm. He's been a trooper about it, but still it fucking sucks. I'm glad that he was able to get that, the cast that is. Anyways, tonight we're going to be taking a look at a couple of scholars that are going to directly respond to me and my problems with the minimal facts argument. I'm just forgetting everything fucking over here today. Anyways, so we're going to be looking at what they have to say about my contention with the minimal facts argument. I will try to explain to you guys what the minimal facts argument is in a nutshell that Gary Habermas is quite known for defending. So we're going to be taking a look at that tonight. If you want to find out how bad their response is, then please stay tuned. I fucked that up too. If you heathens want to fuck around and find out how bad these scholars' response is to my minor objection to the minimal facts argument, then please stay tuned. All right, heathens. Well, tonight I'm going to try to power through it tonight. I actually got my a new booster, a COVID-19 booster.
Donating this much only makes me drink more.
Thank you so much there, Jason. Get to you here, as well as Quentin. I'll get to you here in a second there, Quentin. I got a COVID-19 booster, so my arm is actually feeling pretty sore, but I do want to test to see if I have magneto powers. All right. I'm gonna try to get my wallet. Oh,
hey,
fuck.
This person just bought an express ticket.
It works! I got the magnetus powers! I got it. It came to me. I was like, and it, I just got to learn to control them now that I'm all super powered. Of course, if I'm Magneto. Sorry. Casey got a rose gold Ridge wallet. In case any of you ladies out there want a Ridge wallet, you can get 10% off by going to ridge.com/Godless Engineer. This isn't this particular video is not sponsored. Thank you so much there, honey, for letting me test it out again. I gotta get practice on it, so I'll practice later with spoons and shit. Anyways, so we got some super chats here to take care of. We got Quentin Van Boeven, who's going to hell, saying, sending in my weekly tithe, spend this only on shitty causes. Probably like last month's cause, where we donated to the Save the Children Foundation to help out with kids and everything like that. So, there's that. If you guys want to help us out, you can either, do a super chat like everybody else is doing, or you can join the Skeptic Mafia, or just watch our videos. That also helps. We really appreciate that. Jason Kolosik says, never occurred to me that you were on a vacation despite the gallery of shirts. Which one did you pick? Well, ran into a snag with that. They don't have fat ass sizes, and so I wasn't able to snag a shirt. I have been looking for a Pendejo shirt, which is the one I would have bought, which is what I would have bought if I could have, because that seemed to be like what everybody universally agreed was the best shirt out of all of them. And so I would have bought a Pendejo shirt, but they didn't have fat ass sizes. So, that's a thing I pay for being a fat ass. And then Daniel M says, David is showing you his police vehicle. Woo woo! That's the sound of the police. Woo woo! That's the sound of the beast. Got it. That's the sound of the police. I can't sing in rhythm all that great, but that one I actually took time to learn because it's so awesome. Let's see. I don't think I can't put the member chats up here for whatever reason with this Twidget app. But Jonathan Hanchek says it sounds like you're having a bad night, GE. Maybe it's time to restart the video on news so that you could start from a fresh scratch. Lol. Good evening, Miss Caitlin Chloe. She says hi. Well, I am a little rough tonight, but everything's cool. Because restarting is just gonna kill the stream basically. So we got Vanta Blue says, long time no see, glad to have a normal Friday. Yeah, it's been a little bit since we've had a normal Friday, so I'm glad to have everybody here. And then I believe we got everybody else except for Jason Kolosik becoming a mafioso. Thank you so much there. All right, so this month we actually haven't selected a charity for this month, but we will be getting that to y'all quite soon. So we'll figure something out. It is September, So I'm not
Here
sure what
comes
we'll
the gravy
pick, but
train.
we'll figure it out. Elizabeth Richardson says, "Ah, yes, the no fat ass size struggle. I know that well. Glad y'all are back for vacay, but glad you had a good time." Yeah, I talked a little bit about this on the GE Plays channel, which if you want to, you can go to geplays.com and you can subscribe to my game channel if you want to. But I talked about this a little bit, and it was a mixed bag with vacation because we were out in San Francisco. And on the one hand, it was awesome to be in such a...
Ain't nobody gonna be fighting over this $5. It's all mine.
On the one hand, it was awesome to be in such a fabulous location with so much history out there with, you know, fuck me. Casey says there's not really a lot of history out there. I think you're just a little disappointed in Coit Tower.
Shit.
Apparently Coit Tower wasn't shit.
I died in the fire department.
She was very angry that it didn't have more historical significance. But let's see, we got asexual atheist. Oh, well, let me finish telling you about San Francisco. So it was a mixed bag because it's a fabulous city and everything like that. But but also it was kind of horrible. Like there was a lot of like rotten eggs and other kind of really bad smells that were going on there. Of course, the homeless problem was pretty bad in San Francisco, but it was more or less like the smells of just a big city in general. I'm not used to, and there was this interesting mix in this one particular location.
Hey, dipshit! This person just bought you a bear.
There was an interesting mix in this one location of freshly baked sourdough bread that smelled great. It was awesome. Boudin's bread. Is that how you pronounce it? Boudin? 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 Anyways, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, freshly baked sourdough bread that just smells great. And then you've got rotten egg and shit smells. So it's like in one nostril, and then in the other nostril, you've got rotten egg. And so it was very confusing at times. And very dirty there, incredibly dirty. So it was kind of a mix there. Jester says Boudin. So apparently I was pronouncing it wrong the entire time, which is fine. I got it. I just, for some reason, that's where my mind always went. Looks like I'm going to be having problems with my camera tonight. That's great. Robert C says, "Hola, GE. Beverage of choice tonight? Gonna need, I guess he's gonna need the beverage. So I got crack and cream soda tonight. You just put a little bit of Kraken in there. I say a little bit, but it's like a third of this glass here. And then the rest of it's Sprite Zero. So if you want one, that's how you make it. It tastes surprisingly like a cream soda if you get the mixture just right. But if you want it to taste a little bit more like spiced rum, put a little bit more in it. No, you do good. I like the way that it tastes. Then we got Asexual Atheist that says, "No worries, GE. You speak English better than Bobert. I eat wontons. I do not murder them." Did you hear about that? She was reading from the Bible and she was talking about wanton destruction. But she said wonton destruction or something like that. She's like, "I don't know what that is, but I gotta figure it out." Oh, wanton murder is it? Wonton murder is what she said, and it's wanton murder. She really is. I'm not surprised by fucking Lauren Boebert. So tonight's video is actually from the Trinity Radio, which, if you guys don't know, I'm on speaking terms with Braxton Hunter. I mean, I consider him a good acquaintance, even though, you know, we have our differences and everything like that. We can usually work it out, I guess, the differences that we have. And he actually told both Gary Habermas and Mike Licona that I would be reviewing their video tonight. I'm not holding my breath that they'll be here, but, you know, whatever. Anyways, so we've got that going on tonight. We got a full show. We've got comments. We've got Today I Learned. We've got Shitty Ass Science. Bruce Stevens is going to be stopping by. He's probably magnetic as well. And anyways, so let's get on into the show, shall we? I know everybody wants to see me respond to Gary Habermas and Mike Licona, but we got to get through all of our other stuff first, which I forgot to. Well, shit, I forgot to reset this. Hold on. What? Yeah. Yeah. All right. Oh wait. Yeah, my Hawaii guitar. Shit. May need to unplug my camera before we start with the actual video stuff. But anyways, all right, here we go. Today I learned not to go to San Francisco twice. Anyway, it was a little addition there to the normal song. Anyways, so today I learned that King Philip IV of France expelled the Jewish people from his kingdom, only for his son, Louis X, or Louis Rated X, to later ask them to return when the loss of many tradesmen and educated men hurt the kingdom's economy. And then 7 years later, Charles IV, the fucker that he is, would once again expel the Jewish people. At that point, I'd be like, you know what? Fuck it. We're not coming back to France. Fuck y'all. We're just going to stay over here. Fuck you, your economy, everything. Fuck it. We're just going to stay over here in fucking Spain. And, well, they can't, they probably didn't stay in Germany too long, but, you know. Oh, they did stay in Germany too long. That's right. But anyways, so in case you were wondering about how jerked around the Jewish people were in Europe, that's you know right around as much as it was. Y'all, so sorry about the coughing. I'm gonna try to minimize as much as I can. Daniel M says David is singing "Pooey Butt Science." Today I learned.
Ain't nobody gonna be fighting over this $5. It's all mine.
Pooey, I love that. Pooey Butt Science. We're gonna explain stuff really wrong. I hope David liked that. Oh, all right. Next up on Today I Learned, we've got today I learned that the U.S. rationed coffee for a period of time during World War II. You're really going to hate this, honey. Limiting households to 1 pound every 5 weeks. Casey's mouth dropped. Averaging out to be 1 cup per day per household. The rationing began in November 42 and ended July 43. Oh, yeah. I feel like maybe we should trick people into doing that as a challenge. Of course, you know, it could only be for people that really love coffee and like buy Starbucks on a, you know, pathological basis. But I feel like saying, hey, you get 1 pound every 5 weeks. See how long you can do it for. Let's see. We got, you would be mad all the time. Okay. Green Wizard that needs food apparently says Louis Rated X was the worst superhero. The power of syphilis. Unite. I guess. And then Cadence no, don't unite under that particular thing. Cadence says limiting my coffee that much is a death sentence for other people. And then Selfless Potato says, please never make me ration my covfefe. There's coffee in, yeah, there's coffee in that nebula. Jason Kolosak says, welcome to Acorn Coffee. No, it's not funny.
Just a little bit of money.
Well, I gotta say that I think that I could definitely deal with this, but I believe the one coffee a day would have to go to KC. I would sacrifice my coffee intake for your IV. You would share a cup with me if you had to? Half a cup each? You'd be able to live off half a cup? That's true love right there, guys. Just saying. She'd give up half her coffee for me. All right. Next up on Today I Learned. Y'all loving the Today I Learns? Back to the regular schedule and shit? I know I am. All right, Today I Learned. And this is relevant due to the amount of snowflake reactions that have happened because of the Little Mermaid is now black. We've got Today I Learned in 1956. The Comics Code Authority tried to prevent a story from being printed because it involved a black astronaut. Even though this was never actually forbidden by the code, fortunately, the publisher managed to get the CCA to back down by threatening to take the matter
Maybe
to
you should
court.
quit drinking all that beer, GE.
They didn't say what size of cup. They didn't. But you only have a pound of it, okay? I'm thinking that there's probably a lot of reused grounds. Ah. Fuck, it's already died on me. Okay. I don't know what's going on with the fucking camera and everything like that. We're gonna try to go get through this. So what you guys didn't hear was Casey was telling me that apparently in the Little Mermaid TV series, the animated show, Ariel actually met a black mermaid. So black mermaids are already in that magical fucking world. But I thought that this was kind of interesting as a different kind of look into the past as far as black representation in media. Because another thing that I don't know if a lot of people know is that a lot of times the Hollywood or cinema has whitewashed characters in movies. Like that's been the norm up until fairly recently. Like there was a movie that had Genghis Khan in it. Now, honey, who do you think, like just, I guess, ethnicity, who do you think they would get to play Genghis Khan? Like from that area?
Like,
Fuck.
I don't know. The guy who is there.
The Wong? So somebody kind of similar to Wong, like an Asian person.
Yeah.
You know who they got? John fucking Wayne.
Not. Why? What did they like? Why?
I don't know why, but they got John fucking Wayne to do Genghis Khan, and then like a lot of the, I can't think, I didn't see any in the things that I saw. I didn't see any blatant misrepresentations of like a white person being casted into a traditionally black person's role, because let's be honest, in cinema there were no really traditional positive black roles, I guess. At least not too many of them in past cinema. They were, you'd have to admit that positive white roles were all over the place, while there was a minority of positive black roles in cinema in the past. So that would be kind of hard to find. But what you do have are situations like John Wayne being cast as Genghis fucking Khan. It was written for Marlon Brando. That's interesting. Marlon Brando, I believe, played another Asian character at one point. And Mickey Rooney, he also played an Asian character. And then they've casted several white people to fill Latino spots. Cast. That's my bad. I suck at words. Yes. Do you want a mic, hon? That's the quickest way to get her to shut up, I guess. So Casey, it's just I've got to relay everything that you're telling me now. So Casey was asking me if I've seen all of the reactions from like little black girls or little girls of color, their reactions to seeing The Little Mermaid. But I've also seen other normal reactions from people. It's like, oh, cool, a black mermaid, and like she sings good. Like she is a fabulous singer. I don't know if you guys have seen the trailer for it. I obviously can't show it on stream, but she sings really good. Like she fucking awesome is what I've seen from The Little Mermaid so far. So I mean, I think that they've done a fabulous casting on this. I think one thing that would make it better that I saw was to get who was it to play the prince? He was Jordan Peterson had a really big problem with him. It got him banned off where he dead named him. Elliot Page. Sorry, I've totally blanked on Elliot's name. Elliot Page. Getting Elliot Page to play the prince would be so fucking awesome, and it would make the Republican snowflakes just lose their goddamn sense. So anyways, I thought this was interesting. Just a little side note, representation of people of color in media. Even comics are subject to this kind of racism. So anyways, oh yes, Johnny Depp playing Tonto. Like what the fuck? So sorry, I forget that I can do this right now. Johnny Depp playing Tonto. Like who the fuck made that particular choice? Anyways, so that's it for today. I learned today. I hope you guys learned something. We had a little bit of culture there and everything like that with the Louis the Rated X. Jason says it's not like you can't get sunburned in shallow water.
Hey, ain't nobody gonna be fighting over this $5. It's all mine.
Listen, I used to be a lifeguard, okay? Anybody that thinks that you don't need sunscreen in the water, you're just looking to have a bad time, okay?
Hey, ain't nobody gonna be fighting over this $5. It's all mine.
When I was young and dumber, I was like, hey, I'm a quarter Puerto Rican. I don't have to use suntan or sunscreen. And so like at me being a lifeguard, I was having to clean pools and shit. And then I think I got very light, what is it called? For some reason in my head, it's coming up burn damage. 3rd degree burns. Like very nearly like that kind of like 3rd degree burns from just being in the water and the sun beaming down on the water and everything like that. Like it was horrible. Like it was bad. Ned Silver says, have you heard of people complaining about Ariel being black and the only criticism is that she's black? Like, bro, your racism is showing. Exactly. And like everybody that has a problem with it just seems to have a problem with it because the person is black. And it's like, dude, can you not see the racism that you're spouting off here? Like, I mean, I'm from Alabama and I feel like I've seen my share of racism, and that's straight up racist. Somebody actually tried to suggest that Matt Walsh wasn't being racist when he tried to make the quote unquote scientific fucking argument that mermaids shouldn't be black because they're in the deep ocean or some shit. Like, motherfucker, this is a magical world of fantasy. Mermaids aren't real. They're not scientifically accurate in the first place. What the fuck does the skin color matter? Talking eels, crabs, and flounders. All of them talk. All of them have personalities. That's not a scientific problem, but a mermaid being black is apparently a scientific conundrum that we just can't fucking figure out in a magical, fantastical story written by a gay man.
I can't deal with those creatures that she turns mermaids into.
Right. Well, and here's the weird thing. And then I'll shut up about the mermaid thing and we'll continue. But here's the weird thing. We've known that this was happening for the longest time. It's just that now there's a trailer out for it. So everybody was like, oh, they definitely decided not to go along with that shit. You mean they actually made the movie with the Black Mermaid? Oh, fuck. Anyways, all right. Y'all ready for some comments?
I'm ready.
You're ready, hon? Oh, we got Deviant Outcast real quick saying all these stream glitches the same day as the Jap. Coincidence? I think I do not. Yeah, it's definitely fucking with me here.
Woo! That's KC's money.
Yeah. Puerto Rican?
Just a little bit of money.
Puerto Rican could have traded you for Greenland. I don't know what that's supposed to. I don't think I'm that important that I could be traded for a whole fucking country. Damn. Anyways, let's get to the comments, shall we? Comments of the day. Prepare to facepalm yourself in the next week. One day I'll never learn to play the uke. And I'll do it just for you. Anyways, all right. So let's get to comments because we got a few to cover today. We're gonna start out with some conservatives owning themselves. Yeah. So we've got Laverne Spicer who says, "Stop teaching kids pronouns and start teaching them grammar." I'm sorry, but isn't like proper use of pronouns part of grammar? So like yeah. I got that. That one's next. Yeah. Them. Yep. So this whole pronoun thing is getting a little out of hand and ridiculous, if you ask me. Okay, it really is, because like these people are losing their minds over people using pronouns or appropriately referencing people by their appropriate pronouns. And like in the past, this has just always been, just common courtesy. Like for any,
Woo! That's KC's money.
prior to this quote unquote problem, prior to this issue of the Republicans that they're pushing here, it's never been controversial to refer to somebody in the proper way. Like when I was growing up, I knew to refer to people as the pronouns that they were obviously going by. Of course, we're trying to normalize the use of pronouns, for the LGBTQ crowd, obviously, and that's the reason why they really hate it. But with me and being brought up, I guess the Southern in some kind of way, I was always taught to just refer to people how they want to be referred to. Like I wouldn't go into the principal's office and the principal's a guy, and I wouldn't go, "What up there, Mrs. whatever in the fuck your name is, like that's usually seen as insulting. Generally, is the norm when you mispronounce somebody. But now it's like a badge of pride to be a dick. At least for the Republicans. Now, this is of course a cell phone, in a couple of different ways, but she's got an even worse one because she goes, "You will never catch me using pronouns." What? You fucking used 2 pronouns in that sentence. Also, in the other tweet, you used one pronoun, them. Maybe you need to be taught some grammar because you apparently don't know what fucking pronouns are, Laverne. So Casey said, "Laverne, you a dumb bitch. Pronoun that." And to pronoun that, I'd just be like, "She be a dumb bitch." That's how you pronoun that shit. Oh, man. All right. Next is just a general hate comment from somebody on Facebook because that's where... I mean, it's partially a pronoun, yeah. Sorry, Phillies isn't showing up yet. Oh, Asexual Atheist says mic her. I don't think she wants to be mic'd. She typically doesn't. So this one just says atheists should spend Christmas in prison. Yep, that's the post. Prison. Casey invites this person to spend Christmas in her butthole. Honey, I mean, can we not invite people into our ass rectums? Our assholes? Our rectums? Okay. Nobody's allowed in Casey's asshole. Just saying. Anyways, atheists should spend Christmas in prison. Now, my guess is that this person doesn't appreciate atheists celebrating Christmas. But the problem is that Christmas is so commercialized now that it's been removed from its like Christian roots as far as Christmas goes, despite the fact that there are so many other celebrations that happen around the same time that I feel like a general holiday celebration is kind of what it's turned into now. So, hey, this person just bought an express ticket to hell. Let's see, Jonathan Handshake says, I now refer to myself as an attack helicopter with my pronouns being shh, brr. Okay there, Jonathan. I mean, typically people that do that are, making fun of correctly using pronouns. So just keep that in mind, but I get that you're joking. All right, so I don't know if you guys know, but I spend a good bit of time on Reddit. There's a couple of subreddits that I like to visit, and I had posted this one in Confidently Incorrect. Okay, I don't know if you guys know that subreddit, but basically people post screenshots of social media posts where they are so confident in what they're saying, but yet they are incorrect about it. And so I posted this in there. It's saying that this person says, "Easy man cannot get pregnant. And if you think different, then you need help because the liberal propaganda tool's in your ass."
Maybe you should quit later, GE.
Vanta Blue says Christians should not be allowed to give presents or having a Santa since they are pagan. Whew. Shots fired there from Vanta, but I definitely do agree. If we're going to play the game of atheists can't celebrate Christmas or the holidays in general, then Christians would also have to forego celebration of any of the traditional things they attribute to Christmas. So thanks for that, Vanta. Now, this person is obviously confidently incorrect, okay? Because as far as the gender goes of men, it doesn't really matter what gender you are. And I make this point. I'll just go ahead and bring up this part because there were several people that had a problem with it on Reddit, obviously, because Reddit can be a cesspool. But anyways, I responded to somebody saying, if you have a uterus and ovaries, regardless of gender, you can get pregnant. Like, well, as long as they're functioning, like a functioning uterus and functioning ovaries and all that kind of stuff. Like, as long as you have that, regardless of gender, you can get pregnant. And so this person had a real problem with that, saying, okay, we're playing that game now, huh? So do we call biological men biomen or XYs or sperm makers or what? Same question about biological women. I thought the trans label was to avoid this confusion. But if trans men are men, then what do we call non-trans men? Cis men. And I just feel like saying, well, we call them men. That's what you would call somebody that is a man. You would call them a man. It seems so fucking simple. But it blew up on Reddit as far as in the comments go. Like, the comments blew up. My post actually got downvoted into oblivion. So many downvotes, they weren't able to outpace any kind of upvotes or anything like that. But nice to know we're confidently incorrect on Reddit stands as far as this discussion goes. Seems to be a cesspool over there. Fuck. Yes, honey, it is Reddit, so therefore automatic cesspool. Got it. Damn. All right. Andrew McCarthy is also getting in on the pronoun game, saying if pronouns are part of your introduction, please don't introduce yourself to me. Motherfucker, how can you say that to me? Use pronouns and tell me not to tell you pronouns. Not to use pronouns with you. Like, do these people not know what fucking pronouns are? Of course, they're not meaning actual pronouns. They're just talking about, like, look, when I shake your hand, I don't want you to go he, him. As if, because I'm presenting as a male, I can be anything else. And being courteous to another person and referring to them in the correct pronouns or the correct ways is apparently just not going to fly with this new Republican or conservative group, because they just want to refer to people. They don't care if they're misgendering somebody or at all or anything. But I can guarantee you this: if somebody misgendered them, they would be fucking pissed off. If somebody shakes his hand and calls Andrew McCarthy a she or anything like that, he would fucking lose his mind. Refer to me with my correct pronouns, you son of a bitch. Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought that you didn't give a shit about pronouns there, Andrew McCarthy. If you don't care about pronouns, I really don't think you can get mad if somebody misgenders you. Yeah, I didn't circle the yourself, but yeah, yourself is definitely a pronoun. Let's see. I actually I need to put I'll get their YouTube channel in the description later. But this actually comes from the Utah Outcasts X over there. They've got a YouTube channel that they're really trying to get off the ground. So I'll definitely give y'all that information here in a little bit. But this comes from their channel. It's from this guy, Fred Bellinger, who says, "You're a fucking douchebag, bro. Call me piece of He's right. You all love grooming kids with your deviance and your propaganda. Fuck. You should be ashamed, you animal." I feel like this person right here just, I mean, it doesn't even warrant a response, like any kind of substantial response, because, I mean, come on. He definitely needed to be in school a little bit longer. Like, I feel like this motherfucker dropped out as soon as he could in high school. And in English class, he was just like, fuck it, I'll spell however I want to. You is now a 1-letter word, motherfucker. Also, I don't like to say motherfucker completely, so it's mother star F star cur. Okay? Now, I use stars now, and I don't say that stuff, okay? I don't say fuck, I don't say shit, so I don't say motherfucker either. But you're a commie piece of shit. You're Casey was done after Yura. All right. And then finally, this I don't know how these accounts like get duped into this kind of shit, but the Grimes account, I don't know who this person is. So I don't know why they have a blue check mark or anything like that. But they're saying world is 4,000 years old. Dinosaurs were planted by God to confuse us. Now I don't know if this was like facetious. No. I mean, I got it from him at Meta. Normally he's pretty good about it. I don't think him at Meta would put out something that was false. I guess I could be wrong. Anyways, regardless of who tweets this out, there are legit people that believe this, and I think it's crazy that people believe it. So I don't understand why people are duped into these kinds of things. So who knows? Anyways. Let's see. Brian. Well, I was trying to just make sure that. Oh, yep, there it is. Found it. It's real. From her. I don't know who this person is. Really don't fucking care. She's just, she seems like a dipshit. So it's on Twitter. Go fucking find it. All right. So, what's next? Shitty ass science. We got Brocephus. Maybe can I do a Magneto with him? Anyways, we got Brocephus next. I got to make sure that. Yeah. I got to fix the transition. Hold on. All right, I'm going to go get Brocephus. I'll be right back. Or, well, I won't be back. Brocephus will. Anyways, I'll see y'all in a minute. Shitty ass science. We're going to answer some science shit really wrong. What's up, y'all? Listen, I went and I got the Magneto shot too with the Godless engineer. So, you know, I got Magneto powers as well, I think. Maybe I'm just constipated. It works, y'all! I'm Magnetus!
Timothy, what the fuck ever? Shut the fuck up.
Well, let me see if I can work this. Let's see. Jester Lord of Fools says, makes it sound like this God fellow really doesn't want us to believe in him. Hey! God does want you to believe in him. You just don't want to believe because you want to sin. And that's what all atheists want to do. Even KC over here, GE, his fat ass down in the kitchen. I know you're down there eating, dipshit. They just want to sin. Sloth is a sin. And that's what GE is. He just lays around here all day picking his asshole.
Not even.
Yeah. What? I've seen him lay on the couch and play with his asshole. All right? He loves to sin, and he loves to play with
Just
the devil's back door. Well, you're too close to the situation. Anyways, you invited people to your asshole, so I don't even want to hear about it. I mean, maybe if atheists just didn't want to sin all the time, I wouldn't have to be rude about it none. Just saying. Anyways, fuck. All right, let's see. Does this method infuse them with orange flavor? Oh, what are these called? Capybaras? Capybaras? Capybaras, they definitely taste like orange slices. In fact, if you cut a capybara open, it's just like the inside of an orange. Now, I'm not saying that people should go out there and start cutting up capybaras or nothing, but I'm just saying that, like, that's actually them in the pool and they've shit in the pool. Okay? The orange peels, while they do infuse into the skin, that's their shit. Okay? They shit out oranges. That's how we produce oranges in some cases. Because you can't have orange trees everywhere. How else are you going to produce them wherever in the fuck capybaras live? So capybaras shit out oranges all day. And they do it in I guess that's like a heated tub or something. Maybe one of them fancy fucking like hot tubs that are made to look like a hot spring or something, but it's really in like Southern California or some shit like that. And yeah, these orange shitting capybaras are only available to the super rich that have super yachts that have that also have their support yachts attached to them. So it's like Elon Musk's or that who's the fuck that does Amazon? Bezos. Jeffy Bezos, those are the only ones that can afford the genetically engineered orange shitting capybaras. So, you know, maybe we shouldn't be asking, oh, does this infuse them with orange flavor because they're already orange flavored? Maybe we should be asking, why are they shitting so much in the pool and why do they shit like rabbits but oranges? Huh? Maybe rabbits shit those, what are those small tomatoes called? Cherry, maybe there are some rabbits that shit cherry tomatoes, and then other rabbits shit coffee beans, and then I think there's some kind of fucking monkey down in South America that'll shit coffee beans. So you know, and then people pay a lot of money to eat or drink the processed shit coffee beans coming out of these monkeys down there in South America. Look that shit up. I mean, that's a true fact right there. Y'all think that me throwing it in here amongst all this other stuff means that it's not true, but it is. So now you're sitting here wondering, oh, what's true? What's not true? Do capybaras shit oranges? And I have successfully completed my TED Talk. Now that you're all fully confused. We do have Deviant Outcast that sent a super chat. Let's see. It's okay to hate people as long as you're asterisking your curse words. It's in the Bible. That's right. Jesus said it on his Sermon on the Mount. He censored himself. He's like, don't make me repeat myself again. I don't know how to mouth an asterisk, but all of you is what he said. He was talking to the Jews, of course. He was pointing to the back of the crowd because they were all back there like judging, like, the fuck's he talking to, huh? He ain't talking to us. No, not us. Him. Okay? That's what I'm saying. Anyways, Sermon on the Mount, Matthew 69:72 or something. I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to go on ahead and get out of here. I hope that you guys have a fantabulous day or some kind of shit like that. I gotta figure out all these transitions and stuff. Anyways, alright, well, I guess I will see you heathens later. Fuck, where's it at? Here it is. Okay, I'll see you guys later. Fucking bye or whatever. Go to hell, suck Satan dick.
Shitty ass science! We're gonna answer some science shit really wrong.
Why am I so mean today? I don't know, just something crawled up my ass, and I'm just tired of all the sin and everything going on in the world. We're being judged, Casey! Fucking Marjorie Taylor Greene! I agree! Damn, Brocephus is a little pissy tonight. Fuck. Yeah, he needs to get drunk. Just fucking chill the fuck out. Anyways, obviously capybaras don't shit oranges. Rabbits don't shit cherry tomatoes or coffee. Although the monkey thing is right. Oh, it's a weasel? there's an animal that will eat these beans and then they shit them out and then that's what you boil and drink. So, you know, enjoy your shit coffee that's highly expensive. Civet. Both you and Sirnian said that at the same time. All right. Are y'all ready to get to the video? I know I am.
Shitty ass science. We're gonna answer some science shit really wrong.
That wasn't supposed to happen, but it did. Okay. Okay, Casey's like, I don't give a fuck. What the fuck ever, I don't care. Anyways, all right. So, we got Mike Licona and we've got Gary Habermas, two people who advance the minimal facts argument. Now, if you guys aren't aware of the shit that's been going on in the apologist community, there are actually two warring factions right now, okay? And I know Christians warring against themselves. Who would have thunk? But so you've got Gary Habermas, Mike Licona, and other people that are very much in favor of the minimal facts argument. And then you've got other people over here that are part of this maximal case argument that seems to go the opposite direction of minimal facts. And the maximal case argument for the resurrection, they really don't like the minimal facts argument. Not the people, like I guess they're fine with the people, but they really don't like the minimal facts argument. They're vehemently against it. And so it's kind of been weird watching this play out. But anyways, so Mike Licona, Gary Habermas, they were all on a stream on Braxton Hunter's channel, Trinity Radio. And I did do a super chat. And I, just to make sure that I got, their attention so that they would actually respond to me. And I'm so sorry I'm going to have to do this, but I don't want like shit running out of my face. All right. My camera went a little wonky there for a second with the color. Anyways, all right. So, in case you guys don't know what the minimal facts argument is, the minimal facts has actually fluctuated from between 6 facts plus some extras all the way up to 12 facts. And Gary Habermas has revised his list throughout the years of what the minimal facts are. And typically, the minimal facts don't really solidify that anything actually happened in history. They only accomplish solidifying that a belief about these things started to exist. They arose in certain people started believing in these things, and that's really all it proves. Now, an example of some of the minimal facts that are proposed in this argument are that, of course, Jesus existed. Now, for the purposes of this particular discussion, I want to yell this for the people in the back. I don't mind accepting that Jesus existed as a historical person for the purposes of destroying the minimal facts argument. Just in case anybody was a little curious about that. So Jesus existed is one minimal fact. Doesn't prove he resurrected. Another fact is that he was crucified by Pontius Pilate and he died on the cross. That might be 2 different ones. But in any case, that's another example of a minimal fact. And that even if that did happen, that doesn't prove that he resurrected from the dead. He gathered a following of people, still doesn't prove that he resurrected from the dead. He was quoted as being seen alive after being buried. He was buried in the tomb is another thing that's usually stated. Like another thing that could be stated is the tomb was found empty or something like that. Like a lot of people apparently, according to Gary Habermas, which he's never actually published a list about a list of people that agree with these facts. But he says that a lot of people agree that the tomb was found empty. And then another thing is like the disciples reportedly saw visions or saw Jesus after he was supposedly in the tomb, dead and everything like that. And then people were converted, like Paul and the brother, one of the brothers of Jesus was apparently convinced. So like these are typically minimal facts, are considered minimal facts. Now, like I said, Gary Habermas has waffled on, you know, some of these facts. He's went as low as 6 with some honorable mentions tacked on. And so it's really weird that he consistently says that this proves Jesus resurrected from the dead. So we're not even talking about any other historical idea in this other than Jesus resurrected from the dead. That's apparently what it's supposed to prove. Now, I have a problem with this. And I posted my problem for Braxton to read to these guys. And so that's what we're going to be listening to today. I hope you're holding on to your butts, because this is, it gets a little weird with Gary Habermas there for a little bit. If Gary Habermas happens to be watching tonight, I don't mean any of this in a mean way, how I'm going to respond. I'm trying to be as, I guess, nice as possible in this response. I was in no way trying to demean your minimal facts case or anything like that. I was just trying to give people a full picture of what the minimal facts case is and how it's changed over time, just in case he decides to watch this. So anyways, let's get on into the video with Trinity Radio.
Yeah. Okay, now this is interesting. Here is a atheist YouTuber who I've had friendly interactions with, named Godless Engineer. And this is what Godless Engineer says. I see the minimal facts argument as just getting to a belief arose, but doesn't connect it to actual history. Thoughts on this view?
Yeah, so before they get to the response here, what I see the minimal facts case doing is establishing that people started to believe in these things. Like, there's obvious facts that we're taking, just at face value here, like Jesus existed, maybe he was crucified, maybe he died, all this other stuff. Like, none of that actually relates to the idea that Jesus resurrected, other than, I guess, he has to live in order to die and resurrect, maybe. But all of that could have happened and still Jesus didn't resurrect, right? So as far as the actual thing that it's supposed to prove, the only thing that it really does is it says that, well, these people started to believe in these things. But just because people start to believe something doesn't mean that something happened historically, or that it actually happened in history. So, I mean, that's what I mean by this question. Maybe I wasn't as clear as I should have been. I feel like I got my point across, but let's see where they go with this. Shit. Hold on.
Yeah, let me take a stab. When you say 100 and something arguments and considerations defend facts, those are historical considerations. To say this isn't even a historical argument sounds to me like I don't like the argument approach.
No. It's not that I don't like the argument's approach, Gary Habermas. It's not that I don't like the approach or anything like that. What I'm saying is that this argument, while attempting to place these things in history, the only thing that it actually does is place that a belief arose in history, not that this actually happened. It's a bit of a nuanced thing that I'm complaining about here, but I feel like he's not really understanding what I'm meaning by just a belief arose. Also, he's talking about 100 arguments defending these facts, or hundreds of arguments that defend I guess maybe or that are part of the minimal facts argument. Like, there aren't 100 arguments. There are like between 6 and 12 pieces of evidence that they claim proves that Jesus resurrecting is the most likely explanation. Not hundreds, at most fucking 12.
You may not like what the people report, but they did report it. It's in the data, and it's in data from unbelievers. It does correspond to real history. And
But it doesn't correspond to real history. I mean, so we have reports of people experiencing or having these experiences or whatnot, right? But I feel like a better explanation, a naturalistic explanation, would be that these people either had grief hallucinations or they just had hallucinations in general because they were schizotypals, or any number of explanations that don't include a magical Jew resurrecting from the dead would circumvent the idea that a magical Jew resurrected from the dead. So what we're talking about here is the fact that just because, let's just say that, that these people did see what they saw. The only thing that's reported in the data is that these people started to believe these things. That's the only thing that's reported. Paul only reports that he started believing in the resurrection of Jesus. Not that the resurrection of Jesus actually happened in history or something like that. Not even the early church fathers cared about the historical nature of the Gospels. They just cared that it was a nice, wholesome message that they could get behind. That was it. You look at any of the early church fathers, like Justin Martyr, Origen, Irenaeus, any of them. You look at any of their works, they didn't care about the historicity of the Gospels or the historicity of Christianity. They only cared about whether or not it made them feel good, whether it was a good message for them to believe in. That's the only thing that they cared about. So just saying that, oh, well, you can't just eliminate or ignore this data. I'm not ignoring the data. I'm just taking a skeptical and critical look at what the data literally says. And what the data literally says and what the data literally proves is that there were some Jewish Christians at that time that started believing in these things. And that's it.
And my second thought is, yeah, a belief arose. Yeah, we're okay. We say the disciples had experiences that they believe were appearances of the risen Jesus. That's true. But try to come up with a naturalistic theory and see what happens.
Oh, okay. So challenge number 1 from Gary: come up with a naturalistic explanation that can explain Jesus existing, his death, burial, resurrection, and then people claiming that they saw him, and then people that were unbelievers or people that just didn't believe at first, they became convinced. Like, typically those are the most common ones that are pointed out. So what naturalistic explanation can I come up with my non-historian, my amateur brain here, to explain all these things? Well, obviously the easiest explanation is, well, Jesus existed. He gathered some people around him. He was eventually crucified by the Romans, died, and was buried in a tomb, right? So that covers that. That's a naturalistic explanation. That's perfectly fine. Again, I'm a mythicist, so I don't think that he actually existed, but for the purposes of this argument, I'm just saying that let's accept that as being history right there, and then let's get past that point, okay? So how do we explain people saying that they experienced risen Jesus? Well, hallucinations are a thing. Dreams are a thing. Group hallucinations are a thing. There's so many different naturalistic explanations to explain why grieving people would see a loved one after they've supposedly perished in such a violent way. So there's plenty of reasons why people would say that. People now, after grieving and losing somebody close to them, sometimes they will hallucinate that, their dead loved one or something like that. People have hallucinations all the time. This is a commonly observed phenomena that has happened. We've been able to study it. So that explains that. Now, why were people like Paul and James convinced? Oh, well, I don't know. Gullible people believe in gullible fucking things. What reasons did Paul have to believe in it? Well, apparently Jesus appeared to him in a vision, and that convinced him. And then the James thing is like, it comes from the Gospels, Gospel of John, I believe it was, no, that was Thomas, doubting Thomas, that fingered his hole. But in any case, there's usually Paul and one other person that's mentioned as being an unbeliever. I think it's normally his brother James, supposed brother James, that they typically talk about. But gullible people believing easily believed falsities is a thing that happens. That's a naturalistic explanation. What is left for me to explain? I mean, the environment surrounding this point in time with how people were understanding the Jewish prophecies and the prophecies about the Messiah, there were people that were expecting a resurrected Messiah, a Messiah that would be shamed on the cross. Well, not specifically a cross, but just shamed in general, killed, and then resurrected in order to absolve sins. That was a thing that some Jews were expecting in the first century. So it's no wonder that some Jews came to believe that that happened. There's nothing here that requires magical Jew resurrection as a way to explain anything. So challenge accepted and completed there, Gary. And I mean, I doubt any of that is really going to convince Dr. Gary Habermas here. But the fact that I, as an amateur, can logically think my way around a natural explanation for all of these data points means that there's a serious problem with the minimal facts argument.
I just told Mike today, most of the major naturalistic theories, the biggies, are being abandoned by the major scholars. What I mean by that is they'll say little things, but almost very few of them will choose just one and run with it. And as one said to me in a debate, no, I'm not going to pick one. Why not? Because you're going to get me in a corner and I'm not going to be very comfortable.
So I sincerely doubt that this actually happened. Like, I haven't gone through every single debate that Gary Habermas has done, but all the debates that I've seen of him, I've never seen somebody be like, no, I'm not just going to pick one because that's going to put me in an uncomfortable position. It may have happened, regardless of whether or not it did happen, though. The reason why somebody wouldn't want to pick a single naturalistic explanation as the hard line, like, boom, this is what happened, is that we simply cannot know. Like, for all of those data points, there are multiple naturalistic explanations that can perfectly explain every single data point with no problems with, parsimony or, other facts that are later discovered. Like, there just simply are too many naturalistic explanations to really pin it down.
Timothy, what the fuck ever? Shut the fuck up.
No, you're fine. There's just too many naturalistic explanations that could explain the data for anybody to really, lay their hat on one single one. So it's not that you're painting them in an uncomfortable position. It's just that there's too much that could be true for anybody to say for sure. So we got Limited Light, who says, as a software engineer, you're not an amateur to logical thinking. That's so gracious of you there, Limited Light. I know that there's plenty of people that might disagree with you, but I feel like I got a pretty good handle on logic. Maybe not a perfect one, but I do feel like I can logically think my way through this type of argument. So I appreciate that. Thank you. But yeah, so let's continue with his stuff.
So if they think that's the lot of naturalistic theories, then I guess beliefs arising are the best. They're the best response because they're not disproven. So
beliefs arising are the best response because they're not disproven. What? They're not disproven? I'm sorry, it's not up to, It's not up to me to disprove someone's claim. Now, there are situations where I can, like the claim of Christianity. I do feel like I'm well equipped to disprove that claim. But just some fuck saying, oh, I had a vision of Jesus. How am I supposed to disprove that? No, you didn't, motherfucker. Show me the videotape. Ah, you can't. Therefore, it didn't happen. Because that's not how visions are described generally. So, I mean, it's not up to me to disprove somebody's crazy ass vision. All right? It's not up to anybody to disprove the claims of Paul. Paul said that he saw a vision of Jesus. What are the most likely reasons for that? Well, he could have magically seen a Jew resurrect. That's true. That's a possibility. Just because it's a possibility doesn't mean that it's probable. That it probably happened. What's the most likely thing that happened? Oh, he had a hallucination. He had some kind of like vision. He sniffed the wrong kind of mushroom one day, and he had a wild vision of Jesus. Or maybe he was under such serious anxiety, depression, or stress that he ended up hallucinating Jesus as a way for his mind to get him to come to terms with his persecution of Christians. Like, there are so many different things that I could come up with here to explain it. And that's not me disproving Paul. That's me explaining the data. How does this work with a naturalistic worldview where magical resurrecting Jews just simply don't happen as far as we can tell? So, I mean, that's what that is.
Proven. So,
I'd only add, I think that there can be different types of minimal facts approaches. Minimal facts, we can get to those. Now, what do you do with those minimal facts? Gary may...
And that's worldview. That's worldview. People will reject whatever they want, and Christians have to think, hey, you're on your own. You count for what your beliefs are. If that's your... The question is, these are beliefs arose. This is your belief that's rose.
No. It's not my belief that has arose. I don't even know what Gary's trying... He's about to go off on a tangent. But this isn't my... Like, this is me just logically thinking my way through their argument and trying to figure out what does this actually prove as far as history is concerned. And the only thing that it gets us to is that people started believing in this thing, right? It doesn't actually get us to these things actually happened in history, right? It doesn't get us there. So this isn't like my belief. It's not like I have a belief in the rules of logic, or I have a belief in analytical thinking or anything like that. It's not like I have a belief in these things. This is just what the argument entails when you honestly look at the facts that you presented. So it's not that I have a belief that has arisen or anything like that. I like how he didn't let Mike Licona finish though. he just felt he's like, how dare you question my minimal facts?
Maybe
it's kind of the energy I
all
get.
that beer to you.
Daniel M says, to prove Paul's vision, we have to determine if the Jesus he saw was white. Yep. Just like mermaids, Jesus has to be white. Thank you, honey. Sorry, I didn't put Daniel's comment there on the screen. Everybody's got to be white. White Jesus, white mermaids, all magical, fantastical things, they've got to be white. White Asians, yeah. Of course, that has nothing to do with Gary Habermas necessarily. Yeah, just a call back to earlier.
That's rose. How come you never have any beliefs? Only we have beliefs, right?
Well, for one thing, I never said that I don't have beliefs. Now, as far as my as far as atheism goes, no, I don't have beliefs. Like, I don't assert any positive beliefs about whether or not God exists, other than the fact that I just don't believe in a God. As far as atheism goes, now, if you want to be specific, agnostic atheist is what I identify as, and that's where I don't know if a God exists, but I choose, or not choose, but I just simply don't believe in a God. And so that's where I'm at with that whole thing. I do have other beliefs that make me up as a person outside of the religious discussion, outside of the whether or not God exists conversation. I do have other beliefs, about me, but those other beliefs have no bearing here on this conversation. This is an out of context thing that we're talking about here. I do have beliefs, but these beliefs aren't pertinent to what we're discussing here. So
beliefs are on the other. And by the way, for a godless engineer, I say this teasingly, we've got good atheist friends too. Try to produce an argument for atheism, which, if it's true, would require atheism to be true. When you say that in a debate, many debaters that Mike and I know, they won't take you up on it. I'm not arguing if it's true. I'm just saying I don't believe what you believe.
Well, so I can't answer his actual challenge because obviously I don't assert that atheism is true, because ultimately I'm agnostic about whether or not like the supernatural exists, whether God exists in general. But if we were to change the context of this a little bit, and I'm not trying to straw man Gary Habermas here or anybody, I'm just saying that I can't answer his original challenge the way that he phrased it. But if we take it as to how Christians mean it, it's, make an argument that shows that atheism is more likely to be true than Christianity, right? Like just Christianity itself. Like what proves Christianity is false? And I feel like I could answer that challenge. Because in that respect, I am a Gnostic atheist, because I know that Yahweh or the God of the Bible doesn't exist, and I can make positive claims about the fact that God doesn't exist. Like the fact that Genesis really doesn't match anything that we really find in history as far as the main like storyline, especially Genesis 1 and 2, creation of the universe, the flood narrative, that's not true. And given that the Bible is kind of the requirements document almost, or at least the requirement descriptions, however you want to put that in engineering terms, like the fact that the Bible does not describe reality that we live in, and that there's several things that the Bible is wrong about in reality, proves that version of the God doesn't exist. The Abrahamic version of God cannot exist the way that it's described in the Bible. And I mean, I've got a whole channel here that's built off of my arguments against the Abrahamic God. So if you really want to know what arguments I have, other than there are things that are contradictory in the Bible there are things in the Bible that are contradictory to reality. If you want something more than that, you'll have to check out the rest of the videos on my channel. But I've answered that challenge multiple times, and I'm answering it here. I can prove that atheism, it's more likely that Yahweh doesn't exist than Yahweh does exist because of those facts, right? So I've answered that particular challenge. Again, just to stress so that people don't try to take me out of context here, I'm answering a different question or challenge than he initially offered, because I simply don't, I'm not that kind of atheist that makes a positive claim about a general deity, right? I'm only specifically talking about the Abrahamic God, the God of the Bible. Well, God of the Bible, God of the Hebrew Bible, the Torah, Septuagint, and then of course the Quran. So it's a lot of religions that have the Abrahamic God, but three. I just meant more than one.
It's true. I'm just saying I don't believe what you believe. Now I want to know your view is true. Well, I'm not going to do that. I'm only going to say I don't like your view. Well, fess up. Come up with your own argument. If you don't like this one, give one on the other side.
I mean, I have. Like I said, I've built a channel off of giving alternative explanations for these facts, for the idea that Yahweh or the Abrahamic God exists. I've built my entire channel off of it, and it's really not a 30-minute video where I just say, I don't agree with you about that. I don't like your view about this. Like, I have scientific studies. I've got philosophical studies. I've got studies coming out of my ass about how wrong the Gospels, or not Gospels, but how wrong the Bible and the Abrahamic God is as far as describing reality goes. And so it's literally, I don't know a single atheist content creator on YouTube that just sits there and is like, I don't like your view, none. I just don't like it. So fuck off. I don't like you. I don't like your view. Just fucking get out of here and off of YouTube. Like, I don't know anybody that does that.
On the other side.
How I'd respond to Godless Engineer, I'm saying the minimal facts approach, it depends what you do with the facts afterward.
Yep.
And what I do with the facts is I take a historical approach. So I say, let's compose or formulate various hypotheses that attempt to account for these minimal facts or historical bedrock. And then let's weigh those various hypotheses to see which one explains the facts the best.
Oh, I totally agree here, Mike. In case he's watching, I totally agree with you about this. What do we do with these facts? How do we analyze these facts? What do these facts tell us? But the problem is that you get a lot of apologists and scholars out there that they think that magical explanations for things, divine explanation for things, are better explanations than naturalistic things. Here's why I find that to be incredibly irrational. And that's because we have not actually proven that defined things have happened. Like, obviously, they think, Mike Licona, I'm fairly certain, as well as like Lee Strobel, Frank Turek, all of the general scholars and apologists out there, they believe in miracles. They believe that miracles have happened, that there are provably miracles that have happened. But the problem is that when you actually scientifically test these miracles, they all fail. They do not stand up to scrutiny. And I mean, if you could actually prove a miracle, you could win that James Randi $1 million prize. I'm fair. I don't know if it's still up for grabs, but I would think so. But in any case, if anybody could prove anything miraculous, prove that miracles actually happened, they could win $1 million. But problem is that when you actually stand them up to scientific scrutiny, they are not miracles. They do not pass muster when it comes to science. So you can't say that these are proven things. You just go with, well, I believe them to be true, or I believe these things have been proven. They haven't, but the reason why that is the reason why magical, miraculous claims will never supersede an explanatory power over naturalistic claims. Naturalistic claims use nature and what we understand about nature to explain phenomena that happens in reality. And we have not seen that a God is necessary for natural phenomena to happen. There has not been a study published that connects natural phenomena to God. In fact, in our past, every time we've explained something with God did it, we've been able to, in the future, explain it with science and a scientific understanding of our reality. We've been able to explain it through naturalistic means. And so, given that prior probability, it seems far more likely that magical Jew resurrection is never going to supersede the explanatory power of naturalistic explanations for anything. And so that's how I interpret these minimal facts. That's how I come to the conclusion that they just talk about a belief arising. There's a huge leap that's being made by apologists and scholars here, like Dr. Habermas and Dr. Licona, where they leap over the belief arising and they go directly to, well, that proves that Jesus resurrected. But the problem is that you got to build a bridge to get there. A bridge that's made of facts, like empirical evidence that definitely links the two ideas. And apologists just haven't done that yet. Fuck you, Mouse.
Which one explains the facts the best? So I use certain criteria like explanatory scope, explanatory power, less ad hoc, and plausibility. So I'm using arguments of inference to the best explanation.
And so I've heard him make these arguments before, Mike Licona. And what it seems to me is that Mike says that he utilizes these things, but yet his subjective interpretation of the facts, of the information, he always leads them in the direction of believing in Jesus and God. So like when he says plausibility, well, one of Mike Licona's arguments for the historical resurrection of Jesus is that first you have to believe that the Abrahamic God exists, like Yahweh exists first, and that makes it plausible that Jesus would have resurrected. And so you have to build your entire case off of an ad hoc statement that isn't proven by anything. It's like one of them floaty fucking clouds in the Mario levels where you step on it and it's like, oh shit, oh, I better jump off, but there's nowhere to jump. Actually, I think that might be like Price is Right or something. I'm not sure. Anyways, my point is that it's an ad hoc statement that's not substantiated by facts. We have not thoroughly established that Yahweh exists. In fact, the evidence points in the exact opposite direction that God exists, or well, Yahweh exists specifically. And so you can't start from, oh, Yahweh exists, therefore it's more likely that Jesus would have been resurrected by God, i.e. Jesus himself, right? And then there are plenty of other arguments that they use, like the women finding the tomb empty. That's got a lot of problems with it. And so they do provide more arguments like surrounding that's outside of the minimal facts argument. But when he says that he uses explanatory power, plausibility, inference to the best explanation, and all this other stuff, it comes with a lot of subjective interpretation of the information. So where I would see magical Jew resurrection not having any explanatory power, considering the prior probabilities, he would see it as the best explanation because he already accepts that Yahweh exists and that the Bible is representative of reality, and that Jesus existing and being crucified means that he was resurrected, because if Jesus was the Son of God and God exists, then that means that God would want to resurrect him, which is basically just the storyline of the Gospels. You're just regurgitating that. So when he says that he's going with the best explanatory power, or the explanation that has the most explanatory power, he's skewing the data. He's skewing the interpretation of the data in order for it to go in the direction that he wants it to. At least that's what I've perceived in his many debates that he's had, and the many speeches that he's given on this particular topic.
To the best explanation. And what a historian is going to do is say, well, the argument that best account the hypothesis that best accounts for the minimal facts, the historical bedrock, should be regarded as what probably occurred.
And what we have is just a mere disagreement about what these minimal facts entail. I feel that the minimal facts only entail that a belief arose, while Gary Habermas and Mike Licona, they make the giant leap to Jesus actually resurrected as a matter of history, which is not something most critical historians would agree to. Only New Testament scholars, which, I mean, most New Testament scholars, they would agree that, Jesus resurrected from the dead as a matter of history. That's what most New Testament scholars would agree to. So In fact, the majority of people with relevant degrees in this area do agree with these two here. I'm on the fringe in this situation. Everybody that doesn't believe in the resurrection of Jesus as a matter of history, or as a historical fact, we are in the fringe of scholarship. Okay? And this isn't just me saying it. Bart Ehrman feels the same way, as well as plenty of other critical scholars out there. We don't believe in the resurrection, and that puts us on the fringes of this particular field of history.
What probably occurred. And so when you go through that exercise, the resurrection hypothesis does come out on top every time. And so that's how I connect the minimal facts, the historical bedrock, to actual history. I use historical method.
But he doesn't use historical. Well, he attempts to use a historical method, but I mean, you can use a hammer to open up a car door by smashing out the window. Does that mean that that is how you're supposed to open up a car door? Honey, is that how you're supposed to open up a car door? When you don't have time for a handle? I'm just saying that, like, you can misuse a tool. The historical method is a tool. And if you misuse it and get to a bad conclusion, you're still at a bad conclusion. You're just confidently incorrect about that conclusion.
I use historical method.
By the way, Braxton, people don't know Mike's big book, which is the best one out there on historical argument for sure. He doesn't just say this. All the other views come out short. He measures up, what, 6 or 7? You have one appendix too. 6 and plus an appendix where you think the guy's pretty good. He's got at least a half dozen, and he puts the facts up there and checks the boxes on where the guys come out. So he has done a put up or shut up kind of argument where here's the data. How does your view explain it? And he goes with a lot of actual critical views and rejects them for not explaining the data. The data are historical.
The data are historical.
The data are historical.
The data are historical. I mean, I like, as the data has stated, even if I accept them as being historically accurate, these points of information, which I don't agree that they're historically proven to be true, not all of them at least. I don't agree with all of them being historically true, but even if they are all historically true, that still doesn't get us back to a historical resurrection. All it gets us to is that people believed a resurrection happened, and that is not placing it in history. That's placing the fact that this group started to believe in these things, not that they actually happened. And I get that Mike has apparently done an analysis. Shit. Hold on one second. It lasted the entire time, so I'm actually pretty surprised by that. I get that he's done some kind of comparative analysis, his own subjective comparative analysis on alternate explanations. And while I think that there are explanations that are less likely than others, they are still all vastly more likely than a magical Jew resurrecting from the dead. Now, obviously, Mike, being a scholar, being somebody that has suffered at the hands of the mainstream New Testament scholars, who he's lost jobs because of his position on certain things. He's lost speaking engagements because of certain things. He's obviously only going to consider the proposition that Jesus historically resurrected from the dead as the only viable option. I feel, and no offense, Mike, if you happen to watch it all the way to the end here, I feel like you're a bit compromised in your ability to assess this information. due to a dogmatic view of Christianity. I feel like Mike Licona, Gary Habermas, as well as nearly all New Testament scholars are dogmatically compromised on the topic of history when it comes to their own religion. Because if they step out of line even a little bit, which if you guys don't know, Mike Licona lost jobs and speaking engagements all because he said that the zombie resurrection that happened when Jesus died on the cross that only occurred in one gospel, I believe that was Matthew, he said that that was apocalyptic imagery and not that it really happened in history. He lost jobs and speaking engagements because of that. Recently, another scholar also lost their job at a Catholic university for having quote-unquote heretical views, as far as I can tell, which I'll be doing a video about that here soon. But this is a pervasive problem in New Testament studies, that you have to be very strategic about what you say. So when Mike Licona or Gary Habermas analyze naturalistic explanations of the data, you simply cannot know if you're getting honest analysis. You can't know if you're getting an honest analysis or if it's being dogmatically driven. And that's the problem that I have with it. I just simply can't trust New Testament scholars, especially not like Mike Licona or Gary Habermas, on these historical questions. Now, if I have a question about whether or not, Jesus loved to rub one out listening to Metallica, then I would consult New Testament scholars. But I feel like on these critical questions about the historicity of the resurrection and even the historicity of Jesus himself, I just simply can't trust them. And that's where I stand. So let's get back to the main camera here. I really appreciate Gary Habermas and Mike Licona for taking the time to actually answer my question instead of just blowing me off and not answering the question. I know I may have been a little harsh in this review at times of their answer, but if you could say anything, you could at least say that I'm being honest about how I feel about their answer, or I'm honest about their particular argument for the resurrection of Jesus. So, if anything, you know that I'm being honest in this review of it. But I really feel like I'm being very analytical about these minimal facts. I'm being logical about where they lead, and I'm only coming to a conclusion that's built upon empirical evidence that we actually have, like text sources that we have in Paul. And I'm taking some things for granted, like the existence and the death and burial of Jesus. I'm just taking that, just at face value, that those things happened. And I'm getting to the nitty gritty part of whether or not these facts prove that Jesus resurrected from the dead. And I just find that it only actually supports a belief arising, which, according to Gary Habermas, is good enough. The idea that people just started to believe in it is good enough for him to say that this shit actually happened. But I doubt that he would accept that for any other fantastical claim that's not part of Christianity. Nobody should accept similar claims like that. Just because people started to believe shit, that means it's real? Well, fuck, honey. Those, oh shit, I fucked my camera. Oh shit, honey. Those Heaven's Gate motherfuckers, they caught a ride on that ship on the back of the Halley's Comet. Those crazy sons of bitches. No. No, the suicide of the Heaven's Gate cult was not a fun day, I'm sure. Oh, a ride on the comet. A ride on a comet would be awesome. Using Gary Habermas's idea here, that just because these people believe that it happened, that means that it did. I guess that means the Heaven's Gate cult is riding around in a spaceship right now. or any of the other cults, any of the other crazy ideas. Fuck, you know what, honey? Shit, every time I slam my fist and it fucks shit up. Look, there are so many millions of Americans right now that feel that Donald Trump is innocent and he is still in power despite being investigated by the FBI, the DOJ, and all of his cronies getting their cell phones taken at Hardee's and shit. Like, despite all of that, Donald Trump is in office right now and Jim Carrey is playing Joe Biden. He's one of the actors, apparently. So, yeah, apparently that's a true fact now, given Gary Habermas's methodology for getting to a historical resurrection. Trump won the 2020 election. He's still president. He's just taking it easy. I mean, to be quite honest, the number of times we've seen him on the golf course now versus when he was president, you wouldn't be able to tell that he's not president now. Anyways. Huh? Yeah. Glad you agree there, hon. Anyways, that's what I thought about Gary Habermas and Michael Licona's response to me. Really appreciate everybody watching tonight. And, if you will, please leave a comment down below with what you thought about tonight's video. Do you think that they had a point? Do you think I'm wrong? Let me know down below in the comments. I'd really love to hear what y'all think or read what y'all think. But if you're going to be leaving out right now, I hope that you guys have an awesome weekend, and I will see you heathens later. Don't forget to stand up and use your voice. Bye, heathens. But don't go, because we get the Skeptic Mafia comments coming up. If you guys don't know, if you become part of the Skeptic Mafia, you will get your comments read on the live stream that Friday night. Most of the time. There are a few occasions where I can't get to them, or it takes a little bit more time. But tonight we're getting to them. We've got some comments to read, and they are awesome comments, I'm sure. All right, hold on. I gotta get this resized real quick. Okay, good. No held comments. Thank you, honey. Okay. Boom. There we go. Okay, so first up is Jester, Lord of Fools, saying, the minimal assertions argument, where we must assert that because a book about 13 guys wandering the Middle East was written by unknown people who may have met people who knew those 13 guys, one of them must have been a celestial sky daddy to come sacrifice himself for our sins for 3 days. We also deal with shifting a burden of proof and the idea that Occam's razor would be in favor of the sequel series to one of the most historically inaccurate world fiction series ever would be somehow credible, as it somehow manages to fail literally every fact we can cross-check. At least one of them said that they've had friendly interactions with GE. Nice to know that they can be honest on occasion. So I do agree that I like Braxton's little introduction in that, that we've had friendly interactions together. I would totally agree with that. Even though I vehemently disagree with Braxton and his positions, we still have friendly conversations. So, Selfless Potato says, yes, glad to see they're shifting the burden of proof onto you again, but it's okay because the data are historical. Thank you, Selfless Potato. Then we got Jonathan Nickel, who's got a shorter message this week than last week when Jimmy roasted all of my Skeptic Mafia members. Jonathan said, a bit shorter this week. I'm not writing a novel today. This pair reassert the minimal facts argument by simply asserting these are facts. We need a demonstration of what these supposed facts are and how they can be shown to be factual. Atheism isn't a claim, it is not a position you have to defend. The assertion that you have to make a case for atheism is just shifting the burden of proof. To say, I don't believe what you believe in this context is to state, I don't accept that you don't believe in any gods. Habermas is asserting that he can somehow read your mind. Maybe he got a booster too and he became Professor X. No. I know what you're thinking. No. I kind of felt like Robin Williams in Mork and Mindy. No. Licona is no different. He too asserts that they are facts and asks the non-believers to account for them, just like Habermas. He has ignored the first and most important step. One big assertion from the pair of them, but from what I see, neither one answered your objection. Not that I expected anything more from either of them. Well, I kind of agree that they didn't sufficiently answer my objection, but I think the closest that we got to an answer on my objection was just that a belief is good enough to assert that something historically happened. That's what I pulled out of their answer, was just that, oh, well, yes, a belief is what you get to, but a belief is all that you need. And I just simply don't work that way. Oh, Tomato Priestess Zumi says not very knowledgeable about what they were saying, so I'll leave the debunking to you, but awesome that they actually responded to you. Guess it's ASCII time. Don't have anything appropriate, so I'll just post this instead. I have to say, Tomato Priestess Zumi, you got the best ASCII art around. And it says, cuz uwu. That is all. Thanks. And if you like to uwu, go ahead and lick that like button, or I'll be forced to uwu you into oblivion. I don't know what that means. After that, go ahead and caress the subscribe button, then gently fondle the bell to make sure you get notified when he goes online. If you really want to show your heathenness, heathenitude, heathenanity, heathen-like aspects, we really must come up with a term for that. Anyway, if you want to fully put that on display and support the engineer of godlessness, go ahead and join the Skeptic Mafia, where you can get him to say silly things like, real engineers index at 1! They really don't, but we'll just play along for now. Star Trek is far superior to Star Wars, and KC is always right. I don't really have too much to say about those last two. Star Trek is great. I don't know about superior, but it is great. As well as vote on which video he'll be reviewing live next. Anyway, enough shilling. Get on with it. Good night, folks. Exit stage right. Joining the Skeptic Mafia is one of the better ways to support us here on Godless Engineer. If you like the live show, consider becoming a Skeptic Mafia member. We have a lot of fun. We normally have a monthly hangout, which we've got to do one for this month. And I've got to get out a podcast. And you get to use emojis. Like Casey just used a bunch of emojis in the side chat there. So, gotta hurry up before my voice dies. Trickster says, at least these guys aren't complete nutcases. I can actually listen to their argument without face-palming, although I don't think they should use words like probably. I wish I could have seen this live. I have been thinking of a game dealing with minimal facts that I want to play with the chat. I didn't like how the one guy tried to shift the burden of proof. Such a cheap stunt. Like, subscribe, and share with this with friends and family. Hey, got a few bucks left over after the bills are paid? Why not join us in the Skeptic Mafia? You get to see Friday's videos early and drop a comment about what you thought about the video. GE will read it on air. You even get special podcasts and a bunch of cool emojis. Don't delay, join today. Yeah, so we've been trying to get out the podcast. I was supposed to have one out last week, but due to complications while I was on vacation, I couldn't properly edit them. So, huh? Oh, so I wasn't able to get it out last week, but I do have one recorded that I need to get out this coming week. So we will have that done. We will have that out to y'all. Thank you so much there, Truckster. Atheist Drew says, seems like someone got their feelings hurt and now they want to whine about it. I do find it comical that Licona says he takes a historical approach when he has no ideas what those words even mean. Well, he very obviously knows what the historical approach is. I feel like he's the guy with the hammer that tries to open every door with the hammer. And I mean, you might be able to correctly open a door with a hammer a couple of times, but for the most part, you're just breaking shit, and it's not the proper way to use a hammer. Michael W. Roble says, I just found out from the chat on their video that GE is just a sad, bitter individual who's mad at his creator. Is that what they said in the comments? Fuck. Why didn't you tell us, GE? Hey, listen, I told you I was the shittiest atheist on the internet, okay? I almost made Ray Comfort vomit, okay? You should have known what you were getting into, okay, Michael? We could take up a collection and send you, KC, and Xander on an all-expenses-paid vacation to Dr. Ken's Dinosaur Adventureland, where you can hunt creationists with a variety of weapons. Wait, I've been informed that creationist hunting isn't part of the vacation package yet. Anyway, it is always fun to see apologists scramble for words to explain the weakest of arguments or indefensible positions. Face it, there are no strong, reliable facts to support the existence of the Christian Jesus of the New Testament. Any facts that are claimed to be real have been in the control of the church for millennia, and it is well known that tampering has occurred. Wait, didn't some of that tampering stuff happen to the New Testament itself? As to the resurrection, when someone dies and comes back to life 39 hours later, 3 p.m. on Friday, 6 a.m. on Sunday, then I'll consider it a possibility. Just saying. Yeah. There was a lot of tampering with the New Testament. The Gospels, they have a lot of tampering in them. I mean, Mark has a completely different ending tacked on to it. John has a number of different stories that are just tacked into the middle of it. So, I mean, it has been tampered with, that's for sure. Clyde950 says, I think the word scholars should be in quote. Well, they are scholars in that they have New Testament like degrees. So there's that. Perplexed Papa says Dr. H and Dr. L said a bunch of words to explain their methods without actually explaining their methods. How do they show the minimal facts are that they use? How do they show what the minimal facts are that they use? How can they prove that? From where does this knowledge arise? Out of their asses? When you join the Skeptic Mafia, not only do you get these bussin' emojis, but you get to make John say all kinds of shit like KC as always. Right, that's the second time it's happened. Huh? They do. Insert a shameless shill here. If you join the Skeptic Mafia, then you will definitely get, a podcast occasionally. You will definitely get a hangout with me. You'll definitely get a whole bunch of shit. Like the emojis in the side chat. Y'all will love being part of this channel. You get to help shitty causes every month. Oh, that's another thing. If you join the Skeptic Mafia, portion of those proceeds, they will go to helping us donate to some kind of charity each month. So, if you want to help us donate to shitty causes, definitely become part of the Skeptic Mafia, or do a super chat, or just watch our videos and share them out. That also really helps us do that as well. If you like to laugh while learning, this is the place. Don't forget the Crestus app. It's so useful when you need a quick reference to drive a point home. That's true. I do still have the Crestus app out there, although I've been steadily working on getting a new update out, and it's taken me a bit, so y'all just keep a lookout for that. Thanks, y'all, for being shitty heathens. Thanks to the almighty algorithm that put this video in your face. Bye, y'all. Thank you so much, there, Perplexed Papa. And then we got Darren Wright, who says their belief is not based on a historical fact. Bottom line. And then you throw the word probable in there. Does not help your case, Mike Licona. Things like this cannot be probable. There has to be irrefutable scientific evidence for something to be a fact, in my opinion. I am sorry, but the Bible and your belief don't carry that burden of proof at all. While I do appreciate that they responded to you in a respectful manner, I think they are full of shit. That's the best backhanded comment I've heard. I'm going to try and catch a show tonight, but if I don't, y'all motherfuckers better sign up for the Skeptic Mafia. It's the real deal. Also, to know that my heathen money goes to charitable causes, just give me the warm and fuzzies deep down. You take a guess at where I feel the warm and fuzzies. Anyway, it's probably the subcockle region of between the taint and the cockles. Is probably where that's at. You take a guess where I feel. Anyway. Thanks, as always, for all you do, GE and Caitlin. Y'all are amazing. Peace and love, Darren. Thank you so much there, Darren. Finally, we got Jonathan Hanachek, who says, holy fuck, they want facts from a book so old that's been translated into different languages so many different times just to radiate the fact of some guy died supposedly for us to save us from himself. What the fuck, lol? I can't understand why people still believe this nonsense, even though we have so much evidence that it could not have happened. And if you actually have proof that it does happen or did happen, please contact your local Josephus with your name, contact information, and facts so that he can discuss it with his almighty to make sure it condones that God is good. God is good, and God is good all the time. All the time, God is good. And God is good all the time. Yeah. Anyways. So, yeah. So we have facts of time that show none of this shit could be real. And if it did happen, it was in a very little spot, because if the whole world flooded for some stupid reason of rain, I don't think much would have been here afterwards, especially it covered up the tallest mountains in the world. It would have destroyed the sea life, the freshwater life, on top of a whole bunch of plants being buried. And now I'm fucking rambling, so remember to hit that like button, turn back around, smash the subscribe button. Will everybody tell Zumi hi for me? Hi, Zumi! Now, with this last part, make sure you stay tuned for what's coming up next week and the month after. Hopefully we'll get a hangout meet since they changed the fucking thing again. Now back to you, GE. What are we having? What are we having in the next chat? Oh, almost forgot. Hi, Miss Caitlin Chloe. So it looks like the next time for a chat will be next weekend. So be on the lookout for a group hangout next weekend. All of the Skeptic Mafia members that are here. That's actually going to be it for the stream tonight. I really appreciate everybody showing up. You guys are awesome. I definitely need a break. I've been coughing and hacking up shit this entire time. I just want to take a second to thank everybody yet again for showing up tonight. You guys are awesome. All of you for staying here, supporting the channel and everything like that. You guys really make this channel the great experience that it is. And I guess I will see you heathens later. I got to get out of here and like blow all the mucus out of my head. And I'll see you guys later. Don't forget to have an awesome weekend. Stand up, use your voice, all that kind of good stuff. And we will see you guys on Monday with Girl Defined and Biblical Womanhood. We'll see you heathens then. Bye, everybody.